If you hood educated, I'm glad you made it. Allow me to unfold my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from a hood brother's point of view to all of you, here, there, and everywhere. Now check me out.
We're outside federal court here in downtown Dallas for an update on the case that involves the rapper known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Jr. After a 1-hour probable cause hearing in federal court in downtown Dallas, he has been ordered held. The judge deciding that yes, there is probable cause that he was involved in the crimes that have been alleged by the FBI. His defense attorneys argued the FBI does not have the guns they mentioned. They do not have the jewelry that they mentioned that was allegedly stolen. They do not have the contract that they say that he was forcing the other rapper known as Gucci Mane to sign to get Pooh Shiesty, the other rapper, out of his contract. But the judge said the evidence is heavy that he was involved in this, that he does have a lengthy criminal history, including gun violations before. So at this point, Lontrell Williams Jr. is being ordered held in federal custody pending his next court.
What I tell y'all, the man is not going nowhere. He going back to the federal penitentiary. He gonna complete that violation, right? However much time they give him for the violation. I believe that they're gonna execute his sentence, so that they can keep him there, so that he can stay there until the trial comes. But, according to the reports that are out, they saying that, hey man, look, he got to stay there anyway. This is what the judge done put out there, right? So, even though, because I know a lot of people, y'all just heard that little clip and y'all probably thinking to yourself, damn hood, they said they ain't got no gun. They ain't even got the contract. They ain't even got the jewelry. They have no hard evidence, right? This right here should scare the hell out of criminals. This should, look, if you out there living that life, you should be terrified, spooked, pooting, farting, because listen, the government is showing you what they do. No hard evidence. None. But I'm going to tell you what they do got, though. They got 8 brothers locked up, looking at life in the penitentiary, a federal penitentiary, for robbery/kidnapping. It don't get no cold-blooded than this. This right here should be a clear, I'm talking about present, a clear and present evidence to let all you young brothers know, and you classic brothers who are dealing in that street life, who are dealing in criminal mentalities, that look, man, all the stuff that you believe that they need to have to lock you up and to convict you, they don't need to have. I remember back in the day, there was a saying that went like this: no gun, no case. No face, no case, right? That's a lie. That's a cold-blooded lie. Because here it is right now in front of us. They do not have no guns. Even though the victim/witnesses said that, hey, look, the man had a gun. He put a gun to my head. He tried this, that, and the other. They ain't recovered no guns. They haven't even recovered the jewelry. They haven't recovered the contract. They ain't got nothing, right? But you gotta understand something, y'all. From my understanding, if my memory ain't failing me, this thing happened, I think, in January. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. But this thing happened like 3 months ago. You see what I'm saying? So of course, the evidence is gone. Ain't gonna be no contract. Ain't gonna be no weapons and all that old type of stuff. Of course, all that stuff is gone. Because the feds waited till they got everything that they needed to secure a charge of kidnapping and robbery. Then they went and got them. And the cold-blooded part about all that is this right here. Criminals, street guys, they thinking in their mind, right? And I'm talking about Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, and all the other guys, and even his father. They thinking to themselves, hey man, look, we gonna get rid of all the evidence. You see, we gonna get rid of everything and we gonna be cool. We ain't gonna have nothing to worry about. Shit. The feds don't play like that. The state don't play like that neither. Whenever you have a victim / witness, give it up. It's over with. Now, it's one thing to have a innocent bystander, a witness that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Yeah, you can question that because it's like, man, look, you just, seen something and you don't know, you ain't a part of what happened to them, but you say you seen this. Yeah, you can go at them. But when you get a victim, somebody who was there, somebody who was violated, you see somebody who was assaulted, robbed, and they are the eyewitnesses saying that it was him. They don't need no evidence. They don't need it. They got everything that they need. And that's why they were able to charge them. You got to understand, some hood educated residents and guests. This one thing that we got to understand about the criminal judicial system. Prosecutors just can't be charging people. They can't just go around saying, I'm going to charge you, I'm going to charge you, I'm going to charge you. They can't do that. They got to have evidence. They got to have facts, right? They got to have victims, witnesses, you see? And when they get this information and they want to charge somebody, they take all the information to the judge and say, hey, look, this is what we got right here. We're finna charge him with these crimes right here because we believe that everything that happened satisfies the elements of kidnapping and aggravated robbery. I need a warrant for all 8 of these guys, right? And so what the judge do, the judge look at the evidence. The judge look at the case. Okay, you need a warrant for all these guys? Yeah, you know what? They do look guilty. They do look like they did this. I'm giving you the warrants. Go get them. You see? So listen, criminals, listen, gangsters. You already guilty before you even have a trial. You see how the game go? The judge already agreed that, hey, you know what? Man, it looked like he did this. It looked like they did this. It looked like they robbed. It looked like they kidnapped. Yeah, go on ahead, man. Go get them. You see? So you already guilty. And then you got to go in there and try to defend yourself against a judge that gave out the warrants to go arrest you in the first place. Come on now. Come on. So in this situation right here, allow me to say this right here before I depart, y'all, because I just wanted to, to come back and see what these other, the defense was saying and all that old type of stuff, right? And just to, kind of like brush up and let y'all know what's going on. Look, Pooh Shiesty lawyer, I'm talking about killed. I'm talking about all that stuff that everybody. Hey, well, Gucci Mane has publicly came out and said that he's not cooperating. That ain't what Pooh Shiesty lawyer just said. Check it out.
COHEN, Sam Zengane, and John Helms.
And any questions, just look straight in the middle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we had a bond hearing today and a PC hearing today. I think that the relevant things that were said today that I thought were fascinating were that it took 3 months to build a case. And I think the reason for that was because the statements that were given on the evening that this occurred were very questionable. I think the way that the statements were made, what was made, what allegedly was witnessed and what wasn't witnessed, I think gave great pause to the FBI. The FBI doesn't take 3 months to arrest someone if they believe everything that was said on the night that it occurred. They were involved the first night and then nothing happened for 3 months. In addition to that I thought was quite embarrassing was that an FBI agent says they don't have the resources to keep their eye on an individual. This is allegedly an individual that committed a crime that they then didn't watch to see if the guns were present, if the jewelry was present. And what didn't we hear today? What we didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns, they have no jewelry, they have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client. 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client. 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more. I'm going to take like 1 or 2 questions and then we're going to scoop.
You're essentially arguing they've got only a he said kind of case, no evidence.
Correct. Yeah, it's very fair. I think that this is it's a he said type of a case. I mean, obviously, there's 5 individuals on one side. What we're missing are the other people that were present in the room, right? The owner of the studio, who says he didn't hear anything or see anything. The way they leave the studio, where no one is in concert with anybody else, no one's arguing with anyone else. One of the individuals says, "Hey, can I get my watches back?" Like, the story is quite unusual. And I think that the FBI knew that. I think the investigators knew that it was unusual. And I think that's why it took so long to make the arrest.
What is your response to the judge saying that, your client still violated the terms of his ankle monitor location?
Sure, those are all things that are going to be, flushed out. The fact is that he was allowed to be in certain areas at certain times. That really wasn't an argument for today. I wasn't really even going to make that argument. My main thrust of today was to really push on the evidence and see exactly what they had and when they had. How about this? How about the individual who wrote the complaint, who actually drafted the complaint, who was sitting in the courtroom, who's only been an FBI agent for 4 years, does not take the stand. They put someone else on to say what she wrote in her own complaint when she's sitting in the courtroom. And that's done quite often in gamesmanship, because they don't want to put a rookie on the stand and be measured by our legal team.
How far away is this from trial?
Oh, who knows? We're going to get discovery. We'll take a look at their discovery. They're going to say it's ongoing. I mean, think about it. They had 3 months to get this done. They had 3 months to get warrants. They didn't get warrants that night. They didn't get warrants the next night. They didn't get warrants the next month. They didn't get warrants the month after. They waited 3 months to get warrants on whether or not there's guns, whether or not there's jewelry. How about their cell phones? How about the computers? That gives me great pause when I see a case that takes that long to get warrants, if you believe everything that was said on the evening that it occurred.
So can you tell me
let me take one from her because she was great last minute.
Can you say anything about the identity of RD, and then you also spoke about a social media post you had made?
Correct. So, listen, I don't like when the government puts initials in and everyone takes a guess who they are. We all know who they are, right? I'm not going to say it's this person or that person. That's not my job to do. But certainly there have been media posts of individuals that we suspect were involved in that evening where they're denying that it occurred, or they're denying that they're giving statements to the government. I think that's unusual as well, because of what the government put forward today seems to negate those statements, but we'll have to see how this all shakes out.
So did the feds even interview any of the people? Did the feds even interview any of the people yet? Any of the alleged victims?
So my understanding is the FBI has, over the past 3 or 4 months, has interviewed none of the alleged victims, and allegedly they all have future dates to give statements, but I have no idea if that's true. We're basing it on what the agent said on the stand, that each one of those witnesses from that evening is going to appear and give a statement to the federal authorities.
So RD never made a statement as of now?
Not to the FBI, but that evening it appears from the material that they produced and from the agent's testimony is that RD gave a statement that evening, but since that evening has not given another statement. But the FBI said in the future they're all scheduled to give statements, so we'll have to see.
She specifically asked him about RD, right? RD is Roderick Davis, better known to the world as Gucci Mane. And as you can see, that he said that, hey, there's some posts saying that I'm not cooperating or whatever, but that's not what the government is saying. So in other words, the government is saying that, yeah, Roderick Davis, Gucci Mane, yeah, Gucci is cooperating. Yeah, he's finna get on that stand and testify. If them boys right there go to trial, that's just my belief. I believe that. I believe that if they go to trial, Gucci gonna have to sit on that stand and he gonna have to testify. But if they don't go to trial and they take deals, he gonna be like, whew, cool. But look, you already done testified. You already done told. You done identified people. You know what I mean? I mean, like in the street, listen. In the street, when you in the gang and you in the criminal activity, you don't even want nobody to mention your name. You see what I'm saying? If you get jammed up, don't mention my name. You see? But he mentioned the name and he identified, hey, that's him right there. You see what I'm saying? That's way too much. But me, look, I understand. I ain't tripping about him snitching. I ain't tripping about him getting on the stand and all that old type. I'm not tripping about that. The gangsters is tripping about that. The criminals, they tripping about that. But let me tell you criminals and you gangsters something real quick. Why y'all tripping about what Gucci about to do or what Gucci done did already? It will happen to you. Yeah. What you see Gucci doing, mentioning names and pointing people out, listen to me. All my gangsters, all my criminals, it will happen to you. It might not happen yet, right? So you thinking to yourself, hey man, me and my gang, we like this here, we tight, we solid, right? Because it ain't happened to you yet. But ask those who came before you. Ask some of your OGs, your elites, your board members and things like that. OGs, big homies and all that, generals. Ask them. And they will tell you if they ain't been told on by the gang, by somebody that they know, or even by the ops, if they ain't been told on, they know somebody that have. And 9 times out of 10, when we in this criminal lifestyle and we gang banging and we doing everything against the law, we get told on. That's how a lot of us end up doing a large amount of our time, our life in prison, because we get told on. Whether it be by the ops telling on us because they scared because we terrorizing their ass, or it's the people that's in your circle. Yeah, them that know everything about you, know your mama, know your sister, know your child's mother, your kids. But when it's time to go to jail, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that, bro. Nah, it was him, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know him by his Instagram. Go look at his Instagram. I want to show y'all this guy. Yeah, it was him right there. You see what I'm saying? Come on. It ain't happened to you yet. And if it ain't, you need to get out the way. But for those of you who it happened to, get in the comments. Let these people know you've been told on by somebody close to you. Let these people know that you've been told on by your ops. You see? Now, a civilian, that ain't telling. A civilian, a tax-paying citizen, he's doing his duty. Yeah. That's what they doing. They see criminal activity going on in the community. You do something bad to them, you know what I mean? Rob them, shoot them, whatever. They're doing their duty as a civilian, as a tax-paying citizen. They doing their duty. That ain't snitching. That ain't telling. They saying, hey, look, this person right here is not abiding by the law. Shot me, robbed me, took all my jewelry and stuff like that. I want my property back. And if I can't get it back, I'm going to get it with time. Send his ass to jail. You see? Send him to jail for harming me. You see? That's what a taxpaying citizen going to do. They ain't going to come try to shoot you. They don't want to rob you back. None of that. They want your time. Something that you could never get back. Ever. Ever. You could never get that time back. And they want that which is most precious to all of us on this earth, because we all got a limited amount of time. So choose wisely. Don't listen. All the hood stuff, the gang stuff, all them talking about they ain't gonna tell on you, they down and all this old type of stuff. Most of them probably ain't even been put in a position to tell on you. You see? Put them in a position to tell on you. Then see what goes on. Then see what happens. Now look, don't get me wrong. We got some fools out here, and yeah, I call them fools, that will go do the rest of their life for somebody else's murder, you see, or go do a large amount of their life for somebody else's crime. That's they homie. We got fools out here like that will do that. And the cold-blooded part about that, these fools go to the penitentiary for somebody else's crimes. And the guys that got him locked up, the one that actually committed the crime, don't do nothing for them while they sitting there decaying. Don't do nothing for them. They continue on with their life, continue doing crime. You see? So no, I'm not mad at Gucci. Any civilian or taxpaying citizen shouldn't be mad at Gucci neither. But you gangsters, I understand, because y'all believe in that backwards thinking. I understand. Criminals, hey, street guys, I understand. I believed in that madness as well. I believed in that. But I done grew out of it. I done grew out of that. And I'm thankful. I'm grateful for it. So think like this. Although you ain't never been told on yet, understand if you continue living that lifestyle, it's gonna happen. And the cold-blooded part about it happening is this right here. You can either go spend a large amount of time or your life in prison, or you can end up spending the rest of your life in prison. This is Hood Educated, not Lame Related. Peace and love, and y'all take care of yourself out there. If I said anything that caused you to think, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And if you're feeling generous, please make a small donation to the channel. Peace and love. And if you're still here, subscribe to the channel, hit that like, hit that hype, and then check out these other videos that I just released, my latest release. Peace and love.